Oh, wow. Here we are finally. I've been trying to go live. Note to self, you should check your internet before you tell people you're going to go live. I had to. So here's the story. I'm in a hotel in Eilat. I just arrived about an hour ago. And didn't get a chance to check the internet before I said I was going to go live. And now I'm in a really loud lobby, even though it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. So I'm in Eilat. I just arrived. We actually came here to welcome some families from Ashdod and Ashkelon, which has been under heavy rocket fire. So I came here with an organization that's hosting them here to get them out of the line of fire for a weekend. So there's kids and parents, and so they're going to be here for a week, I believe. There's also families already here from the south. So anyway, this is going to be short but ominous. I had a lot of time to think for the first time this week as we were driving down here. And one of the things that I, really thought about was, what can we expect? Like, is this, I have said that like we're in for the long haul and that it's not dying down. But my question is, what can we expect after such a sophisticated attack? Should we expect that it is just going to die down and that, life will go back to normal and everything will be over? There'll be a little ground invasion, just like all the other conflicts that happen here. They flare up and they quiet down. But I was thinking about it. And I said, wouldn't it be in vain to launch such a massive attack with 1,500 terrorists that came through the border? At least 1,500, I think, were killed. Maybe there are more than that. Wouldn't that would be very dramatic, but it would also be very pointless to do that. So I do think it behooves us to look deeper into this. One of the things I was thinking of, I wonder if the constant firing of rockets from the south, many of them are being shot down by Iron Dome, and I wonder if this constant barrage that has been happening nonstop for a week, if that is meant to deplete the Iron Dome arsenal, so that if a new front opens up in the north and possibly elsewhere, there won't be enough missiles to save lives. So that's one thought. Also, there's an article that's making the rounds now. It was written in April by an Israeli analyst of Arab countries, and he said that he's been studying the issue. He's been hearing from sources, and he didn't want to warn. He didn't want to warn Israelis about how bad he thought things were going to be. Because it was like what he thought, according to his sources, it's going to be really bad. But he said, but now's the time. Now, mind you, that was April. And what he said was that Iran is going to launch a multi-pronged attack, starting with Gaza and also using other proxies. And he named several, like, of course, Hezbollah in Lebanon, several in Syria, also in Iraq, where several proxy groups have been active, and also from the Yemen, the Houthis in Yemen. So I want to add something about that. So I asked somebody to do some research for me in Arabic, and sure enough, this is confirmed that in Arabic media, that now the Saudi-backed government and the Houthis have come to they agree on one thing, and that's Israel. They're condemning the Israeli response to this attack and by bombing Gaza. And the Houthis have said that the same missiles that reach Saudi Arabia will reach Israel. And if the Americans get involved, they will also get involved. So if you look at a map, Yemen is after Saudi Arabia, which is after Jordan, which is next to Israel. And by the way, Jordan, not that you can see when I do this, but it's right over there. So anyway, so that's another thing that we have to look at, another front that we should look at. I'm sorry, is the sound like really bad? Because it's so loud here. I couldn't do this in my room. There's like no internet reached my room. Okay, somebody asked, is it true that Israel destroyed 2 airports in Syria? I don't know if it's true, but they just destroyed one today. And at the same time, the what I read somewhere is that the foreign minister of Iran was about to land in Damascus, and Israel bombed the airport before, so the plane had to be rerouted. So he has, in the last couple of hours, landed in Beirut in Lebanon. Okay, so let me go back to where I was here. So today, here's I think the other major point, and then I'm going to wrap it up. The Hamas leader in Gaza, Obeida, if I'm saying the name wrong, I apologize. So interestingly enough, in the last in this particular war that has happened, the media was initially just so horrified and shocked reporting Israel's side, and the news that's come out, be it 100% true in its graphicness or not 100% true, talking about beheadings and stuff like that. Well, either way, it's made Hamas look bad, and Israel has taken to doing a campaign of Hamas equals ISIS. And of course, anybody from the West, remembers the horror, the atrocities that, you remember reading about and seeing beheadings and things like this for the first time. So anyway, we know of the atrocities that that ISIS has committed and is known for. And so by obviously bringing up this image and equating ISIS with Hamas, it is, intended to turn the tide toward of public opinion toward Israel. So I found it interesting, the speech, which thank you again for somebody translating this for me. The top Hamas leader in Gaza, Obeida, said he seemed to want to be defending Hamas's image, and said that there was a plan that did not involve rape or killing babies. And he said, once the checkpoint was breached, civilians also came through, and it is probable that they committed some of those acts. He said that Hamas was prepared for Israel's response, and its offensive was a success. And they're prepared and unaffected by the shelling that Israel is currently carrying out in Gaza, and that is only harming civilians. So right now in Gaza, I read somewhere 500,000 displaced people, 500,000 people, living in shelters, and the assault there, the retaliation by Israel is continuing. Meanwhile, the IDF has been publishing documents that it said it found about the plans that Hamas had that had been in the work for 2 years, and there's, complete with lists and maps and a lot of other details about it. According to, I didn't have anybody translate it. I read the translation that was given to me, that it included kidnapping civilians. So, so all that to say that for a couple days now, Hamas has been calling for a day of rage around the world, around people to protest against Israel, what Israel is doing, also calling on Palestinians and Israeli Arabs to rise up. And we've already seen a few things, in the West Bank. Tonight there was also a shooting in Jerusalem. I don't know if this is related to this current incitement, but Friday the 13th would be the day of rage, and even uh, Israel is warning its citizens abroad to also be careful, because where there are protests, so it's not just happening here, but if there's protests like in London or in New York, they're warning Israeli citizens to be careful and be on the lookout. So anyway, that's the general update for now. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them. USA News saying tomorrow is said to be the worst day. Yes, yeah, exactly. So that is true. That is exactly, it's the same being reported here, and the call has gone out. Even private groups that have nothing to do with the media or the government, church groups and friend groups are telling people don't go out, try to stay in, and we're going to bunker down for the day and see what's happening. But so anyway, so that's just a brief update for now. And I mean, as you hear this, just so you know, like things haven't completely quieted down in the South, but it was a calmer day in general. I mean, there were rockets. There were even a few alerts again in the North, but no rockets. But there was some kind of military back and forth in the North as well. So anyway, eyes on all fronts. And anyway, that's it. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for watching.